If you own a Chevy, Silverado, Tahoe, Suburban, or anything else with the 5.3-liter V8, the oil you pour into that engine is either keeping your lifters alive or quietly killing them. And I am not being dramatic. I have been a mechanic for over 15 years, and I have personally pulled apart 5.3-liter engines that were destroyed not by mileage, not by abuse, but by the wrong oil sitting on a store shelf that looked legitimate enough for someone to grab in a hurry. Today I am going through 9 oil brands you should never put in your 5.3-liter and 4 that GM engineers actually spec for this engine. Let us get into it. Before I give you the 9 brands, you need to understand why this matters more for the 5.3 than almost any other engine on the road. The 5.3-liter V8, whether you have the older Vortec or the newer Ecotec 3, uses a system called active fuel management, or its newer version called dynamic fuel management. That system works by sending pressurized oil through a component called the valve lifter oil manifold to collapse specific lifters and shut down cylinders when the engine does not need full power. The locking pins inside those lifters are controlled entirely by oil pressure. When the oil is the wrong viscosity, when it lacks the right additive package, or when it breaks down too fast, those pins stick. A stuck pin means a collapsed lifter. A collapsed lifter means metal bouncing on your camshaft lobe, shaving debris into the oil system, and now you are looking at a repair that starts at $3,000 and goes up from there fast. I have seen it happen on trucks with 60,000 miles that were otherwise well maintained. The only variable was the oil. So here are 9 brands that have no business being anywhere near your 5.3-liter. Number 9, Express Lube Pro. The Petroleum Quality Institute of America issued a consumer alert after finding that Express Lube Pro products do not meet the SAE viscosity grades printed on their own labels. The Petroleum Quality Institute of America is an independent organization that tests motor oil sold in stores. On top of that, additive levels were so low that PQIA determined the oil is not suitable for use in virtually any automobile engine currently on the road. They also found elevated levels of metals like iron, copper, and tin, which indicate the product may contain recycled used oil. You put that in a 5.3-liter engine with AFM lifters, and you are gambling with every cold start. Number 8, Everclear. This brand has received not 1, not 2, but 7 separate consumer alerts from PQIA over the years. Testing found high levels of silicon, which is typically associated with abrasive material. Multiple samples failed their labeled viscosity grades entirely, and some contained metal contaminants consistent with used oil. Everclear products have been pulled off shelves in at least 6 states after regulators tested them and found serious problems. If you see this brand at a gas station or convenience store, keep walking. Number 7, Cruise In. PQIA issued consumer alerts on virtually every oil Cruise In sells. The viscosity on their products tested far below the minimum required by SAE standards, and the oil contained abnormally high levels of silicon, which means abrasive particles floating through your engine. In a 5.3-liter engine with tight tolerances in the AFM lifter bores, abrasive contamination is a death sentence for those lifters. Number 6, Questron Motor Oil. The packaging on Questron says premium quality and uses industry terminology that makes it look like a real SAE-rated product. PQIA tested it and found it does not meet API standards for viscosity or additive content. It contained unusually high levels of calcium and magnesium, which can cause excessive wear and deposits inside the engine. On the 5.3-liter engine, deposits inside the lifter galleries restrict oil flow to the active fuel management solenoids. Once that flow drops below specification, lifter failures follow. Number 5, Halo Lubricants. PQI attested Halo Lubricants 10W30 and 5W20 and issued a consumer alert saying that using these oils in virtually all automobile engines currently on the road will likely cause harm. The oil lacked the critical additives needed to protect against wear and deposits. The viscosity on the 10W30 tested at 7.9 centistokes at 100 degrees Celsius, which is well below the minimum of 9.3 required by SAE J300 for that grade. PQIA also found iron and copper in the sample, suggesting used oil contamination. Number 4, Q Motor Oil. Their Q10W40 product received a PQIA consumer alert because the actual viscosity was roughly 50% below the minimum required for 10W40. The label is misleading. It lacked critical additives for wear protection, sludge prevention, and corrosion resistance. The label uses formatting designed to look like a legitimate SAE grade without actually meeting it. In a 5.3-liter engine that relies on precise oil pressure for cylinder deactivation, running oil that is half the viscosity it claims to be is asking for catastrophic internal damage. Number 3, Petrola Motor Oil. The label says premium and modern. Flip the bottle over and the fine print says it is not rated by the American Petroleum Institute and it is unsuitable for most gasoline engines produced after 1930. That is not a typo. After 1930, it contains no meaningful additive package to protect against deposits or wear, and the Petroleum Quality Institute of America flagged it with a consumer alert after finding it on shelves in Ohio. I do not care how cheap it is. Never put this in any engine, let alone a 5.3-liter engine with active fuel management. Number 2, Super Green Smokeless Motor Oil. This one does not claim to meet any industry standards, and it does not meet any. PQIA found the viscosity inadequate at low temperatures, the additive package essentially non-existent, and phosphorus levels high enough to damage your catalytic converter. The 5.3-liter engine already has a known issue with excessive oil consumption on some model years due to piston ring design. If you are burning oil through the catalytic converter and that oil has elevated phosphorus, you are destroying a $1,200 part on top of everything else. The number 1 on the list is Liberty Gold Plus. The Petroleum Quality Institute of America tested their 5W30 and found that it lacks the critical components required in engine oil. There are no adequate anti-wear additives and no proper deposit control chemistry. It is oil in the loosest possible definition of the word. In an engine that demands consistent oil pressure to operate hydraulic lifters across 8 cylinders and to manage cylinder deactivation events hundreds of times per drive, this product is a ticking clock. Now, here is the pattern I want you to see. Every single one of those brands was found on a retail shelf, usually at a gas station or convenience store, often in low-income neighborhoods where people are just trying to save a few dollars on an oil change. And every one of them either failed viscosity testing, lacked critical additives, contained abrasive contaminants, or some combination of all three. The 5.3-liter V8 is not a forgiving engine when it comes to oil quality. The active fuel management and dynamic fuel management systems depend entirely on clean, properly formulated oil at the correct viscosity to keep those lifters cycling without failure. If you are saving $3 on a jug of oil and it costs you a $4,000 lifter and camshaft replacement at 80,000 miles, you did not save anything. You just paid the most expensive oil change of your life. If this kind of straight talk is saving you money and headaches, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I put out videos every week breaking down the stuff dealerships and manufacturers will not tell you. Now let me give you the 4 oils that GM engineers actually designed and tested this engine around. The first one is Ace Delco Dexo S1 Full Synthetic. This is the factory fill oil. When your 5.3-liter rolled off the assembly line in Silao, Mexico, or Fort Wayne, Indiana, the oil inside it was Ace Delco medium meeting the DexOS1 specification. For the 2014 and newer Ecotec 3.5.3, that means SAE 0W20 full synthetic. For the older Vortec 5.3 from 2013 and earlier, it is SAE 5W30. The DexOS1 specification is not just a marketing label, it requires proprietary testing beyond what the standard API certification demands, including enhanced oxidation resistance, deposit control, and protection against low-speed pre-ignition. GM developed DexOS1 specifically because the AFM and DFM systems in their engines need an additive package that standard oils do not guarantee. If you want zero guesswork, this is the oil. The second is Mobile One. There is a reason the Mobile One logo is on the oil fill cap of your Silverado. GM has a factory partnership with ExxonMobil, and Mobile One Full Synthetic is Dexos 1 Generation 3 licensed. I have run Mobile One in customer trucks for years, and the oil analysis reports from Blackstone Labs consistently come back clean with excellent wear metal numbers, even at 7,000 to 8,000 mile intervals. On the 5.3-liter engine, Mobile One in the correct 0W20 weight maintains viscosity stability through the full oil change interval, which is exactly what those active fuel management lifter solenoids need. Third is Pennzoil Platinum. This oil carries GM DexOS1 approval and has consistently tested well in independent analysis. Pennzoil Platinum uses a gas to liquid base oil derived from natural gas, which gives it an inherently cleaner base stock with fewer impurities than traditional crude oil refined base stocks. In the 5.3-liter engine, that translates to less sludge formation in the valley cover area where the VLOM sits, less carbon accumulation on the direct injection intake valves on newer Ecotec 3 engines, and better flow characteristics at cold startup when your lifters are most vulnerable. Fourth is Castrol Edge. Castrol GTX Magnatec and Castrol Edge are both DexOS1 licensed, and PQIA has tested Castrol products multiple times with clean results every time. Castrol Edge in particular uses a titanium additive technology that strengthens the oil film under high pressure. That matters for the 5.3-liter engine because the roller lifters and cam lobes operate under significant contact pressure, especially during active fuel management transition events when cylinders are switching on and off. Here's the bottom line. General Motors requires DexOS1 specification oil in the 5.3-liter V8 for a reason. The DexOS1 logo on the front of the bottle is not decoration. It means that oil passed a battery of tests that go beyond what API certification alone requires, including tests specifically designed around the operating conditions of General Motors engines with cylinder deactivation. Any oil displaying that DexOS1 logo has paid licensing fees and passed General Motors' own testing protocol. Any oil that says it meets or exceeds DexOS1 without displaying the actual logo has not been independently verified by General Motors. That does not automatically make it bad oil, but it does mean you are taking the manufacturer's word for it instead of relying on third-party validation. The 5.3-liter V8 is capable of going 300,000 miles. I have seen it do it. But the ones that make it there are the ones that got the right oil at the right intervals with the right filter. The ones that did not are sitting in junkyards right now with collapsed lifters and scored camshafts because someone grabbed the cheapest jug on the shelf and assumed oil is oil. Check your oil fill cap. Check the label on the bottle. Make sure you see DexOS1. Make sure the viscosity matches your model year, and make sure you are changing it before the oil life monitor hits 0, not after. If you want to know the 5 engine settings that are secretly damaging your 5.3-liter right now, I made a video on exactly that. It is right here. Like this video if it helped. Subscribe for more honest advice from someone who has no reason to lie to you. Drive safe, take care of your truck, and it will take care of you.